Hello, Tankers. I'm Richard Taylor, Project Director for Armored Warfare here at Obsidian Entertainment. Absolutely. Really, our goal is to hit the target with a few engine sounds to kind of get the variety of different engine levels, load, speeds, gearing, and get that right with just a few selected sets of engine audio. And then once we've nailed that, we're going to expand it to make as many unique engine sounds as we can make across the board. We really recognize that different vehicles have their distinctive sound, and we want to capture that in Armored Warfare. Absolutely. This is something that we're continuing to dedicate a lot of time and resources internally. Although we're excited to share the models with you as quickly as we can and get them into the game, we also recognize there's a lot of room for continued improvement and iteration on the models. One of the most important things for us is the accuracy of the tank models. And we take a lot of feedback both from additional photo reference, video references, historical references, and also community feedback where they identify where the models can be made more accurately. And we continuously schedule time for our artists to go back and work on those models. So you'll be continuing to see with pretty much every update changes to the vehicle models, improvements, and fixes. In addition, we really want the details of those models in the world to be reflected. So we'll be putting work into the textures so that they can reflect the environments that the vehicles are moving through, whether it's mud building up as you drive through wet levels or sand as you traverse the desert. You'll be able to see those weather effects build up on the vehicles as well. Yeah, it is something that we've continuously talked about and we'd like to get in at some point. To begin with, there actually are amphibious vehicles in the game. For example, the PT-76 and a few other vehicles are designed to be able to traverse water, but we're not completely representing that right now in the game, and we would like to. It really doesn't require specific maps to be built around this mechanic for them to have an advantage if it's designed properly. For example, we can take a look at some of our existing maps and how that ability would already have an impact on the gameplay. For example, pipelines with the river down the west side of the map. If you could cross that river anywhere versus the few key crossing points, that would be an advantage of flexibility for the vehicles that would be able to do that. You could also see that on River Point, where vehicles that could go up the river would be able to have a fairly safe route along the side of the map without getting fired at. So we do think once that mechanic is in the game, it'll become immediately useful even without waiting for future maps. Once we have it and we can actually try it out, then we can begin to explore how we could also make future maps provide opportunities for that to be an advantage. That's a really good question because it really delves into our goal of having class differentiation in Armored Warfare. While we realize it's possible to give all the vehicles in the game multiple charges of smoke grenades, we really want each class to kind of feel like it has its few special things that the other classes can't do. So while we let main battle tanks and AFVs explore using smoke grenades in a limited fashion, we really wanted tactical use of smoke grenades on the front lines, engaging and disengaging, to be a specific thing that the light tanks could do more frequently over the course of a match. That's why we're starting them off with more smoke grenades than the other classes. We may explore options for the other vehicles to be able to get additional smoke grenades as well, but for them it would be either upgrades or special retrofit attachments or other things that they would have to invest in and not have those inherently. So the setting for Armored Warfare is in the near future, so it makes sense for vehicles that are approaching production, such as the T-14 Armada, or will be entering production in the future, like the M1A3 or the PL-01, will make an appearance in Armored Warfare. One of the exciting things about the development of Armored Warfare is that since it does take place in the near future, we can pay a lot of attention to upcoming military hardware and technology, and look forward with anticipation to when we get to introduce that to the game. Since our setting is in the future, it makes sense that pretty much everything coming out over the next few years will make an appearance in Armored Warfare, and that's one of the great things that we get to look forward to as developers.